Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. Last time, the most unexpected thing occurred. I went through the Ringed City and had fun doing it. I also beat Dark Eater Midir in less time than it took me to beat the Nameless King. I don't know how either. That video was surprisingly, extremely good. This time, we're back in Lothric, because there is something that I wish to show you. For the first, I don't know how long it's gonna be, like I estimate about half an hour of this video, we're not gonna be making any progress in anything, DLCs or not. We will be getting to that later in this video, so if you'd like to skip to then, you can go to the next chapter or this timestamp on the screen. But I recommend you stick around before you decide to go. I recommend that you stick around because I'm going to show to you the wonderful detail put into the world layout of this game. You might think that since Dark Souls 3 is a much linear game to Dark Souls 1, that they wouldn't have paid that much attention to where certain areas are. But no, quite the opposite. It actually shows more areas in the distance out one time than Dark Souls 1 did. These boxes do not have the right lighting applied to them. Whatever, that's not the point. All of the information I'm about to share is all thanks to Illusory Wall's video on the world layout of Lothric. I will link it in the description. If what I share with you is interesting, check that video out. It goes into a lot more stuff, and it uses special debug tools like free camera that I don't have. All I can use is the in-game camera for this, but I'll still try to show it off anyway, and tell you everything that I know, or at least what I find to be the most interesting. We're gonna start off in High Wall of Lothric. Again, I don't know exactly what this place is called. Could just be Lothric or Lothric Castle. The whole place could be considered Lothric Castle, but anyway. The actual area of Lothric Castle is that up ahead, the big building you see there. And since it's the final area of the base game, and it's also visible in Firelink Shrine, or the Cemetery of Ash more accurately, that means that you can see the final area of the game from the very beginning. I love it when games do that. Once you step out of the first room of the High Wall of Lothric, if you look over to the right, over the edge, you can see the rest of Lothric this early. You can see the broken bridge, the Curse-Rotted Greatwood building in the distance. I think that's the Giant's Tower to the right. And over there in the distance beyond the fog is Irithyll. You can see the top of Anor Londo there. And even further in the distance is Archdragon Peak. Oh yeah, and down there is the Abyss Watchers. That kind of leads into the direction of Irithyll, since the catacombs are past there. Since the Dark Souls games allow you to go through between these areas seamlessly, the game basically takes place on one giant map, and as you traverse this map and hit certain triggers, certain areas of the game will load, including collision data, visuals, skybox, and whatever can be loaded at a time. So it's not like you can just wander off anywhere, float into the distance with no clip, and just find any map and be in there now. Now, every map has specific loading triggers and whatnot, but those background elements that we saw over there, those are not the real location. Those are not what the real locations you see look like. Those are low-poly recreations that were created for this map in particular, High Wall of Lothric. Which means they don't necessarily have to line up exactly with where the areas are. The same goes for Lothric Castle up ahead. That is supposedly Lothric Castle from within the game, but the actual location of Lothric Castle, for all we know, could be floating off somewhere over there. It's not. It actually kind of is over there, but you get the idea. The background elements are not always the real locations, which means sometimes they're placed accurately, sometimes not. For example, this building right here, this tower, I guess, that has the Darkwraith dungeon in it, the dungeon with the Darkwraith that drops the Red Eye Orb for invasions. The dungeon itself is supposed to go off in this direction. The elevator's on this side and it goes down in this direction. But if we take a look over the side here, we should be able to see it a little bit, but instead there's some random bridge. And I can tell you, the dungeon is not that far down, so we should be able to see it poking out of here. I assume you're supposed to think it's inside that big wall right there. But yeah, it's not very represented out here, and they totally knew this, because closer to the entrance is this raised section of wall that makes it harder, if not impossible, to see over it. so you can't tell that the dungeon isn't there. The dungeon itself doesn't load in until you enter the building, and then it loads in and it's surrounded by a gray box. To be clear, I don't consider this like a mistake or something that ruins the game, or actually, I don't consider any of the mistakes I'm going to point out something that ruins the game. In fact, I think it's kind of cool, because like there are reasons behind some of this. Like, they may have forgotten to render the dungeon from this side, so they said, hey, let's put this wall up so players don't get too investigatory. And there's some more reasons that we'll see going forward. Alright, before we move on, I did real quick want to point that over there, I think underneath the bridge, is the Consumed King's Garden. I think that building with the dome on it is supposed to be the building he's inside. Osiris himself is inside. But yeah, you can see all the trees around there. And down there, you can see the Dancer's Cathedral, so you just turn to the left and you're in there. So yeah, pretty cool. You can see it all the way from here. What's also pretty cool is how Vort's Arena is really close to the start. In fact, no, we can't see from here. That's an unrelated tower, but it is somewhere over there. It's just to the right from the starting room. Speaking of Vort's room, here we can get a much clearer view of everything. It's also worth noting that this platform here that's all broken, actually, there. I'm gonna set the HUD to auto while we go through the rest of this. This little broken edge here is the bridge. Basically, I think Lothric at one point was on the ground at the same level as everything else, but the lands all shifting around caused a huge rock face called the High Wall to appear out of the ground, and now it rests on top. But it destroyed the bridge in the process, so the bridge is now down there, and we're over here, so it must have also rotated to the side a little bit. You can see that because earlier in this area, you can see dead bodies of pilgrims around the Dancer's Cathedral, and there are yet more pilgrims down there who didn't make it all the way up here before Lothric rose up. And that's exactly what this description is talking about, when the High Wall appeared. So anyway, from here you can see Cathedral of the Deep over there, Undead Settlement in the center right there, Abyss Watchers right there, Irithyll past those clouds, same stuff as before. You can now see Farron Keep, although those torches should be snuffed out, but who cares. And as for the location of Undead Settlement, I'm surprised to tell you that the real location of Undead Settlement really is down there. Even though the way of getting there is to raise the banner and basically warp there through a cutscene, Undead Settlement really is down there. That area with the broken bridge, it's exactly where it should be. I don't know about the other areas, but I'd say they're pretty close to where they're supposed to be. Interesting, raising the banner skips the cutscene this time. That's cool. Once you're down in Undead Settlement, the views change a little bit. We can see the Road of Sacrifices from here, although it is very, very low poly. It's not as low poly as it is up there, of course, but it definitely looks very different, much more green than it is when you're there. That ruined building right there, I hope I don't fall off the edge trying to show that, I think that's supposed to be the Halfway Fortress. It does look a bit different to the Halfway Fortress when you're actually down there. It's also much lower than it's supposed to be. And then from there, that open space down there is supposed to be the Crucifixion Woods. Supposedly it's down there through the fog somewhere, with an odd ruined building poking out. This is an example of the game exaggerating distances, which it does quite a lot. The Crucifixion Woods is not that far down at all. It's much closer up than this view would make you think. And there's a notable area later that does a similar thing. Speaking of said area, you have a much, much clearer view of Anor Londo from here. It might not be quite as clear at the start of the game before the dark side sun takes over the sky, but you can see Anor Londo clearer here. And even if you've played Dark Souls 1, there's enough fog obscuring it that you might not fully recognize it, especially without its surrounding components of Lordran. And there's the Abyss Watchers right beneath us. That's a cool thing to notice as well. Back to the Crucifixion Woods, though, this view is really odd to me because they do show some detail. For example, they show the Crystal Sage over there, the ruins with the Crystal Sage. I don't know where exactly you fight the Crystal Sage, but they also show the entrance to Farron Keep over there. That little peninsula, that's the Crucifixion Woods bonfire right there. And then down below, that one area with the square roof, that's the doorway into the area with the Black Knight, which is also in Farron Keep. Speaking of Farron Keep, the torches actually do get snuffed out from this view. Not from the view up on Lothric for some reason, but this view, yes. Then there's Cathedral of the Deep. taking us back to the bridge in Farron Keep, which has a different view of Road of Sacrifices because we're technically near that area. We're nearer to that area than we were in Undead Settlement. The Cathedral of the Deep is placed pretty much appropriately. We can see over there is the ruins of the Crystal Sage, and if you recognize the shapes, the cathedral should be on the hill just behind the backside of the ruins, as visible from the Undead Settlement. Going back to the Undead Settlement, though, shows us that is not at all the case. It's been moved really, really far away from where it's actually supposed to be, behind the Crystal Sage ruins. So behind the Crystal Sage ruins is instead just nothing. I have to leave that in, holy crap. Hey, isn't this asset used in Elden Ring? Anyway, the reason for this was most likely so that you could see the cathedral just to the right of the Giant's Tower. Still though, it being moved over here creates a whole lot of nothing out there over there where the cathedral could have been to stand ominously in the distance, since there are plenty of times where you can get a view of over there. But from an artistic standpoint, I can understand wanting to see both of the buildings right here. At the edge of the broken bridge though, if you look straight down, you can see an open chunk of the ground. That's unfortunate, but more importantly, below that, another flame of Farron Keep. I think there's supposed to be extra fog here when you come back at the start of the game, which would obscure that open chunk of ground, but some people who helped Illusory Wall make that video that I'm giving credit to discovered that in the game files is a fourth relief meant for one of the flame pillars in Farron Keep with Seath the Scaleless on it, since the others have the other three main bosses of Dark Souls 1, Nito, Bed of Chaos, and Four Kings. So, at some point, there were originally going to be 4 flames to snuff out in Farron Keep instead of just 3. I guess they removed it because they decided that the area was annoying enough. Finally, before we move on, I want to bring attention to that ruin in Road of Sacrifices, because it clearly does not exist down there in the Crucifixion Woods. The area that it is around this tree near the start. It's possible there was meant to be a ruined building down there, but it ended up being scrapped. So this could be a reflection of an earlier design. Before we move on into the catacombs, there are a couple of oddities in this area of the game that I want to show off. For example, in the view from Vort, the Undead Settlement appears to be way bigger than it actually is. That is the Undead Settlement right there, to the left of the Giant's Tower, which then leads into Road of Sacrifices. So what on earth are those villages over there? Well, they are duplicates of the Undead Settlement, of course. And they only exist from this view. This was probably done to make the world feel a lot bigger and more imposing as you make your first step into the Undead Settlement. Interestingly, there's even more Undead Settlement copies very, very far into the distance. So far, I don't think I can even see any. That could be one behind the Curse-Rotted Greatwood building. But as we can clearly see from other angles, there's nothing beyond there. It ends at Curse-Rotted Greatwood. There's no more villages. Brent? Oh my god. I didn't know he died. When does he die? Of course he dies. FromSoft loves doing this. Almost every side quest ends in the NPC's death. Elden Ring is the worst in that regard. Ring associated with Hawkeye Go? One of the 4 knights who win the First Lord. Extends the range of arrows. Okay, not interested. In his later years, the giant Go was blinded, but this did not prevent him from striking down a calamitous dragon with his great bow. So was this a descendant of him? It could have been. Man, that's sad. Anyway, what I wanted to show from up here. The cathedral. It's a little hard to tell behind the fog that could be new for the dark sign phase, but looking at those textures pretty closely, Also, you can clearly see how even from this view, there's no extra village. It ends at Curse-Rotted Greatwood as well. That really does look odd, the Crucifixion Woods area. The building's just kind of sitting on a salt lake or something. For another minor error, remember how the bridge went up until the point where you walked down into the undead settlement, and then it dead-ended, and there was plenty of space between that segment of the bridge and the Giant's Tower. From the Road of Sacrifices, the bridge is shown, however, it is too long. It's going right up to the Giant's Tower. This is fixed once you get to Cathedral of the Deep, and it's the only time the bridge appears like this, which could also be an earlier design that they forgot to take out of Road of Sacrifices. And now for the next section, with a new outfit to boot. I want to reveal something I think is pretty cool. So, you go all the way down to Faerun Keep, you kill the Abyss Watchers, you go down further into the Catacombs of Karthus, and then go down even further into Irithyll, right? And the views from Irithyll seem to indicate that you're way lower than anything else. But in reality, you're not that much lower than everything else. I'm going to run through the entire Catacombs of Karthus area. Pay attention to how our height changes. I'll be tilting the camera to help signify that. Wasn't really that far. There was that one big drop, that one big staircase down with the boulder that killed all those skeletons, and then a short staircase after that. But towards the end, we start ascending even more. So we're even less far down than we were before. Not to mention, we ascend even more when actually stepping out into Irithyll. But this view would have us believe that we just descended like a mile from the undead settlement and from Lothric. If I can get a good view of it. There's the building with the Abyss Watchers, which is where we started. We cannot have traveled that far away from it. So this is another example of the game exaggerating distance, and it manages to use it effectively here because the Catacombs of Karthus, although if you really pay attention you'll notice that you're not descending that far at all, is such a mazy underground area that you won't notice. It's easy to be tricked into thinking you've descended into the world farther than you actually have when you're trapped in those catacombs for quite a while. Also, here's an even slightly clearer, more up-close view of Anor Londo, but it's still shrouded in fog just enough that you don't really recognize it. The build-up to Anor Londo is really good. And also, that's Pontiff Sullivan's chapel staring at you in the face. To give you an idea of how high we are in the world right now, being up on Anor Londo would make you think that Curse-Rod Greatwood Undead Settlement are higher than you. In reality, we're pretty much on the same height as the Undead Settlement, and also the Curse-Rod Greatwood building is much closer than this view would make you seem. The view of Anor Londo from the Undead Settlement and from up on Lothric, but at the Vort platform, also shows Anor Londo as being much farther away than it really is. So the game uses the Catacombs of Karthus being an underground maze to its advantage to trick you into thinking that you're descending lower than you really are. And it works. Because who notices this when playing? Speaking of underground areas, we have Smoldering Lake. Smoldering Lake does probably overlap with a lot of other areas in the game, such as Profaned Capital, Irithyll Dungeon, all that stuff. But since I don't think collision data can be loaded at the same time, it doesn't really matter. There is one notable thing about Smoldering Lake, though, and that is this view. This is the view of the entrance to Irithyll Dungeon. I believe that's the manor on the left there, and to the right is the entrance into the dungeon itself. This view is probably the least accurate thing in the entire game, as for where the actual location of the level is. There's only one thing that is perhaps more inaccurate if you count it. We'll get to that later. The real location of the entrance to Irithyll Dungeon is up over there. It's actually pretty close, too. It's basically at the location of that arch tree right there. But obviously, it's not loaded at the same time. So, yeah. This view is excusable in my opinion because, just like with the Catacombs of Karthus, Smoldering Lake is an underground area, you're supposed to be disoriented, so they probably didn't really care what direction it was in. Still, it is strange, and furthermore, there's no opening back into Smoldering Lake from the entrance to Irithyll Dungeon. You can't see it from there. It's kind of a similar thing to something in Dark Souls 1. There's a view of the underground primordial underworld that is Ash Lake that is not actually supposed to be there. So it could be that this underworld just kind of breaks the rules of time and space a little bit. Since, there's two examples of it not matching up with the actual world layout in two separate games, so. To further show how the descent into Irithyll is not as big as a descent as it seems, can I talk please? This pit area in the Undead Settlement as you go through the sewers actually overlaps with the very top of the profaned capital. Up there is about where the pit area is, and if it were visible, it would be clipping through the roof. Even if collision data were loaded at the same time, it wouldn't matter since it's all the way up there and the actual playable space of the profaned capital is much further down than that, but it's yet another way to show that the descent is not as high as it seems. Descent and high don't really go together very well. Now for a bit on Archdragon Peak. There isn't that much to say, but there are a few cool points I'd like to point out. First of all, that's it in the distance. Obviously, since we sit here to go over there with the Path of the Dragon gesture. Couple fun facts. The view of Archdragon Peak from this air room in the Irithyll Dungeon, which I'm in right now, and the Archdragon Peak scene in Irithyll and Anor Londo is actually placed in the exact same location. So it's basically the same asset we're seeing right now, even though Irithyll shouldn't be loaded from here. Now, when I said that there might be one contender to the least accurate distant view in the game, this is what I was talking about, because technically the real location of Archdragon Peak is not all the way over there. The real level's location is floating in the smack in the middle of High Wall of Lothric. When you go to Archdragon Peak, you're supposed to be traveling all the way over there, but as far as the game space is concerned, you're right on the first level of the game. In fact, there's an area in Lothric Castle, which we haven't been to yet, by the way, where you can die and drop a bloodstain. And the thing about bloodstains is they will always show up as long as you are near them in the game space. They don't care what map they're in. They're kind of an important thing and you need to get it back. So there's somewhere in Lothric Castle where you can die, drop a bloodstain there, and then you'll be able to see it in the sky of Archdragon Peak because the levels are literally right there next to each other. I will be sure to show that off once we actually go through Lothric Castle. Within Archdragon Peak itself is a view of Lothric and Anor Londo that you can see. But that view is unique in this game as it is not a 3D model. Those are 2D textures that are a part of the skybox of Archdragon Peak. The thing about skyboxes, though, is that in most games, skyboxes tend to be repeated. It's only like one texture that encompasses like a quarter or half of the sky, and then it's repeated again on the other side. If the skybox consists of nothing but just clouds, blue, maybe some mountains that don't look very distinct, then this is okay and no one really notices. But when there's structures in your skybox, this can be a bit of an issue unless you do something about it. Of course, it is possible to just make one big skybox, but that would take up a lot of space. Typically, in games, you want to save as much space as you can, which is also the reason why Archdragon Peak's relocation is within High Wall of Lothric, because otherwise there would be a ton of wasted empty space as you move over to Archdragon Peak that doesn't need to be there. Anyway, there is indeed, directly across, 180 degrees away, a copy of Lothric and Anor Londo hidden behind those mountains, which are 3D models. So, the reason why those mountains are there is not just to look cool, which they do look cool, but it's to hide the copy of Lothric and Anor Londo from you. You can't see it from anywhere within the normal game space. Not even from the place where you get the Twinkling Torso Stone up over there. You can't see it from over there. So yeah, secretly on the other side of Mount Everest over here is another kingdom that copied Lothric's homework. Chainsnake guy, you okay? Do you need help? That's about it for Archdragon Peak, because you can't really see anything else from the skybox, so there's not much else to go off of here. Finally, you may have been wondering throughout all of this, Where's Cemetery of Ash? And the answer is it's behind Lothric Castle. You can see the big tower up there that we saw from the other side. It was the great, huge tower on the right from the view of High Wall of Lothric. As a result, it can't be seen from any other area because basically the entire world is over in that direction. It isn't exactly opposite from the rest of the world, it's just behind, and in fact, the game is just barely not showing the rest of the world or Firelink Shrine. Now, obviously, the rest of the world is not being rendered from here, and Firelink Shrine is not being rendered from anywhere else, but in terms of the in-universe space, we are just around the corner from the rest of the world. So that covers its location, but there is one extra really cool thing about this map, the Cemetery of Ash, and it has to do with the untended graves. I have heard, I have not tested it for myself yet, but I have heard that if you die and drop a bloodstain here, which I will do so real quick, on purpose. There goes my ember form, whoops. Okay, there's my bloodstain sitting on the center platform of Champion Gundyr. Now, if I warp back to Eudex Gundyr, I'm not going to edit any of this, by the way. I'm not editing a single thing here. I'm going to talk through this whole loading screen so that you can tell. I think, yes, the bloodstain is still there. And that's because the Cemetery of Ash and Untended Graves are the exact same map in the game space. It's just that they have different settings applied. Different enemies spawning, a different skybox. The NPCs in Firelink Shrine are here, the music triggers as well. But yeah, other than that, it is exactly the same map. So you can actually kind of use this to your advantage. If you die in Untended Graves and don't trust getting your bloodstain back, you can warp back to Cemetery of Ash to get it back. Oh my god, I'm doing maximum damage to these guys. Can't possibly go any higher, because it's an 8-bit number, right? Knowing this means that in this corner with the dead end that just had a soul item, which was teaching you how to run, up there should be the Consumed King's Crypt, behind the Consumed King's Garden. And now, we know exactly in the world where we are, and where we have been heading to, all the time, at the end of every video. I think that's really cool. I mean, we already know that Untended Graves is Cemetery of Ash, but we didn't know that it literally was Cemetery of Ash. The exact same map. It's pretty cool. Also, this guy kind of looks like either Henri or Oscar from the first Dark Souls. Pretty cool. And that about covers everything I wanted to say about the world layout. Something about this game that I think is really, really cool. All credit goes to Illusory Wall and everyone who helped him on that video, because without that video, I probably wouldn't have noticed any of this on my first playthrough. The world layout is just so cool and interesting, especially with all the varying heights of places. Like, when you're at the top of Anor Londo, you feel so high up above the rest of Irithyll, and you are really high up above the rest of Irithyll, but there's plenty of higher locations than that. I love how this world is built, and I love how they show you all of the areas before you even know that they are explorable. And you may not even know that something you've been seeing in the distance is an area you explore later on, and I love that. So I wanted to take this time to show it off because I think it's really cool. To close off this section, I've been meaning to get to this tool for a long time, but I have been simply forgetting. The new music in Firelink Shrine. It is much more somber sounding than the first one, which was a little sad, but that was just generally reflecting the state of the world and the fact that we're in the Undead Curse yet again. Other than that, it was very warm and inviting, it was clearly a safe home, but since we've given the Firekeeper the eyes to activate the Age of Dark ending, which we are now going for, which betrays pretty much everyone in the whole world, this song has started playing, and I think it fits super well with what we're doing. Because, like, all of these people in the shrine are helping us, assuming that we're going to link the First Flame. I'm pretty sure, like, Andrea over there, possibly even the Shrine Handmaid, Ludleth is the only one who knows, but everyone else is like, yeah, you're gonna go link the First Flame? Go on ahead. Allow us to live for another age. But that's not what we're doing. And we're keeping it a secret from them. I think this music fits with that perfectly. I'll let you listen to it for a little while longer before we move on to the rest of the video.
What? Oh. Don't stir your
Alright, with that all done and covered, let's get back to the Ringed City. By the way, there's not much to say about the locations of the DLCs. Because you warp to them and their skybox shows no connection to the rest of Lothric whatsoever, their physical location is just floating out in space somewhere. We could be, like, in the middle of the Undead Settlement right now. It would be interesting to know, like, where these are, but they're probably pushed off to the side somewhere if I had to guess. Anyway, remember that time last video where I said I was gonna skip the optional stuff and then I ended up doing the optional stuff anyway? What I really meant to say was skipping some of the optional stuff. I did not skip all of it, and we're gonna go back to finish up the some that I didn't get to. We can see in the very far distance over there through the branches and the trees is an item. And before we start, let's change armor. Alright, this is apparently the antiquated plain set. This is what the Spears of the Church are supposed to wear. Apparently, I checked the Fextra Life Wiki real quick, and apparently, this is supposed to go with it. We're also gonna go without a hat. There's a reason why. You'll see later. So yeah, I trust them on that. How do you get up there, actually? Hold on. That's our first task. Figure out how to get up there before we go down the other routes. Oh. You just climb the hill. That's it. What we got? Ringed Knight's Straight Sword. That reminds me, I also have that Preacher arm. Let's check these out. Straight Sword wielded by the Ringed Knights. The arms of early men, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it doesn't say anything new. The Preacher's right arm, though, is a desiccated right hand of a white-faced locust that rose from an abyssal swamp that happens to perform as a catalyst for sorcery. The white-faced locusts were meant to beckon men to the dark with sermons, but most of them were unable to take past their own stomachs, the unruly mob. We've already seen that. Spell buff of 100, some stuff that means something. Sure, whatever you say. Alright, well that covers it for that item. We got that done right away. That was real quick. Now time for the first thing, which is up over here. Remember that this monk guy around the corner is going to launch at you with an attack, so we can just dodge it. Pretty sure he does this every single time. Yeah. Just dodge it, climb the ladder, no issue. What the? That... Excuse me? Rude? Get out of here! What's wrong with you? Does this damage you, by the way? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Jeez, I've never had him do that to me. What's wrong with you? Go and die, as the Yarnamites in Bloodborne sometimes say, in Hemwick Charno Lane. / Yahar Ghul, Unseen Village. Alright, path, drop, and look at that. It's an NPC invader, and yet another one that does not require you to be embered. You will be invaded regardless. This guy is Silver Knight Lido. Silver Knight, huh? Yeah, okay. I guess you dressed up as a Silver Knight for Halloween and got way too into the role. Jeez. He's wielding a big hammer, and he's nowhere near as tall as the Silver Knights actually are. Also, wow, okay, he's gonna suck. That's what you get for dissing my Halloween costume. Huh, I can't ember, interestingly. Okay, I guess that's the one little limitation. When there's an invader, you can't ember. I guess that makes sense. Oh, come on. Don't read my inputs, you cheater. Whoa, okay. Man, if the Silver Knights in Anor Londo could do that, I think that would have been a much harder area. Also, if the Silver Knights wielded this hammer, that would have been a much larger area. Don't you fucking dare, thank you. For not pulling a Havel the Rock and getting a cheap 2-shot on me. Wow, that's delayed to hell and back. Come on. Okay, after that, you probably can't do anything. You probably can. What am I saying? You always can. No, no! Oh my god, that can hit you twice. I was doing so well, man. I was spamming the hell out of B right there. And nothing happened. Just stood there and took it. What do we have past here? 2 Titanite chunks? Okay, cool. This guy proves to be too much. I might not, fully commit to killing him. He does drop the Silver Knight set, though, if you can't kill him, so I'd like to. And it has an item description that tells his backstory. His very deep backstory. Emotional. Prepare to cry. God damn you. You piece of shit. Got you with that. Nice, okay. And boom! Still hit me. Awesome. Perhaps take more damage from this. Okay, this you should not be able to recover from. Somehow? Somehow not dead. Alright, cool, cool, cool. What are we doing here? Alright, this is kind of doing the same, so he's giving it a rocky, little crystal-y kind of, damn it, kind of texture. No, 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 no. Please don't have a flask. If you have a flask. I don't think the Silver Knights had any flasks, so if you have flasks, then that, my friend, is dumb of you. I'm only sometimes staggering him, but I think that's hyper armor. No! Being hit twice! God damn it! Get the fuck over here! Thank you. Man, that was rough. Leto's Great Hammer. Okay, no, he doesn't drop the Silver Knight set, but he does drop... I think the Silver Knights drop the Silver Knight set. Makes sense. But he does drop his hammer. Believe I've heard this is the strongest physical attack weapon in the game, but it also has the highest strength requirement. Great hammer wielded by the Silver Knight Leto. Leto's hammer is far the heaviest weapon amongst those wielded by the Knights of Anor Londo. I think it's supposed to say by far. Leto, an eccentric who traveled across the outskirts, became a close friend of the Giants and even Havel the Rock. That makes a lot of sense. He was friends with Havel. Everything makes sense now. Called a stone. Spin to lure stones to the steel hammer and use strong attack to transition into an Earth's land that does 5 billion damage. Because you hate the person you're fighting that much. Alright, well done, Silver Knight cosplayer. I hate you. I'm gonna go back to the bonfire now. Honestly, I can't believe it. That guy was a Silver Knight. He does not at all have the height required to be a Silver Knight. He forgot that he's supposed to drink milk if he wants to stay in with the Silver Knights. That's why he's down here in the Ring City, lost and confused. It's because he's too short. He's too short to be with the others, so they just kind of left him behind. Havel's Ring +3. Same exact thing as Havel's Ring, just +3. Increases to 6... Oh. That's it. Well, that's better than nothing. Increases it by 10 points instead of 8. It's better than no increase in how much it gives you at all. Next up, there's somewhere in the streets I wish to head. I hope we can go there without too much interference from you guys. Oh no. Oh no. Interference is happening. Interference is happening. Oh god, more interference is about to happen. No, is that where I came out of? Hang on. Where's this? What's all this? Oh, hi, you. Awesome. And they lost me, cool. Oh yeah, while I'm here, actually. Anything different up here?
My most humble thanks. 'Tis thanks to thee the dragon erred not from his vows. Please, take this. A final gift of thanks.
A Titanite slab.
Now, hasten on thy journey. But wake not the slumbering princess. As the fire waneth, does she lie by the dark. All for the sake of man.
I might have to do that, I'm just saying. I might have to do what you don't want me to do. I know it sucks, but that's kind of what the game requires. Anyway! Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. That guy was hidden over there. Okay, it's here. That's right. I remember now. Okay, big dude's giving up. Goodbye. I can't go over there. I can't cross the bridge. Okay. Down this route, there is a ringed knight. I think if you stay to the side, you can avoid detection? Am I right? No, I'm not. I'm not great. But, NPC Invader over here. I want to summon him. Get him summoned in. And then, we're gonna see if the Seed of a Giant Tree can be used on NPC Invaders. Alright, come over here. Seeker of the Spurned. Not Alva, but also could be Alva. Either way, it's the Seeker of the Spurned. They're all the way over... Buddy, what are you doing? What? Hello? Hello? Earth to you. Okay. I just need to show myself a little bit. Now. Come this way. Oh, that was a bad idea. I think it went off, though. Hey, ring tonight. Stop going after me. No, don't go after me. Oh, Alva's attacking. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Oh. Okay, Alva killed him really quick, so that might be a bad sign, but that was really fun. You can use it on NPC Invaders. That's very good to know. Ow. Okay, we need to heal from that. You're much stronger than you were in Irthil Dungeon. And you were strong back then, so that's saying something. Use the crossbow. And now... Ooh, me! Heal. Not taking any chances. And boom! You were much easier than the Silver Knight was, because he had that stupid hammer. Seeker of the Spurn drops Wolf Ring +3. The Wolf Ring, if you don't remember, is one of the rings that is only available through the Watchdogs of Farron Covenant. Increases poise, and this one does it even more. So we can actually read its description here. So you can obtain a Wolf Ring through the DLC without having to do the Covenant. Thanks for the Titanite chunk, Alva. Man, that was fun. Of course, the Ringed Knights are no match for Alva, who deals 5 trillion damage and doesn't stagger a single freaking time. The NPC bots know a little bit more about poise and which attacks have hyper armor and whatnot than I do, clearly. Over here is Black Witch Set. The purple hat of the witch Zuli, who intended to seduce Alva the Wayfarer, blah 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 blah. The pointed hat is a symbol of heretical magic crafts, and Zuli wore hers with an unspoken but deep sense of pride. I'll put it on real quick to show it off. I will be wearing it at a later date, but I won't be wearing it for very long. It looks really cool. I love it. It has this, fun style to it. I like how the hat is crooked, and when in the light and not lit up by a torch, I do like the purple color as well. It looks awesome. It's definitely one of the better sets. And that is supposed to show our back. Our back is currently covered in dirt, so it looks kind of like a Twix bar right now. We can fix that real quick. There we go, that's a little more accurate to what it's supposed to look like. It looks really cool. Definitely one of the best sets in the game. It's a shame we get it so late. I will be wearing this a little later time, but for now I'll switch back. I noticed that we have 60,000 souls, so let's pump it into endurance. Oh, look at that, it's going up by 3. Usually it doesn't go up by that high, does it? Am I wrong about that? I don't know. By this point, I'm basically the strongest I'm ever gonna get in terms of health and damage. So I think from now on, I'm gonna level up endurance and probably intelligence or faith to make them both 15. And they won't really be affecting much, so level ups from this point on aren't gonna be a big deal. Okay, that should be every optional thing in the Ringed City. Maybe I'm missing like a soul item here and there, but who cares about that? Let's bring up the elevator and head on down. I still love how that elevator makes mechanical sounds despite it floating in the air. The last place that we have yet to go is right out here. There's the church. I think we were told by the NPC at the start of the Ringed City last time to seek the church. I'm going to equip, I think, Battle Axe instead of Straight Sword, or I might equip Battle Axe instead of Great Sword. for the enemy that I'm sure you have seen by now over there. It's a ringed knight with a new weapon. And I think, in my opinion, these ringed knights are the most fun. I had a lot of fun fighting them on my first playthrough. The others, not so much. But these guys with the double greatswords, they're pretty fun. Their attacks are insane, but they're insane in a fun way. I like them. Dude, you could have been like the third boss of the base game with that attack. Oh my god. Or even like, not even third boss. I think third boss would be a little rough. Whoa, 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 buddy. Okay, he sent out a freaking shockwave there. Jeez. Oh my. Man, how did I manage to dodge that? That's insane. Ow. Okay. Holy. I love how flip through the air is delayed. Which makes no sense. Logically. Okay. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Drink. And now. Never mind. I think I'm gonna die. Fuck. I do not remember this guy much at all, but he's got like 2 hits left, so it's fine. Down he goes. Titanite chunk, as well as the ringed knight paired greatswords, which was sent into my inventory automatically. Paired black greatswords wielded by the ringed knights. The arms of early men, switched to life, blah, 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 blah. Nothing new. This. Divine Spear Monument. It's a covenant altar for the new covenant we got last time. What does the new covenant do? We'll find out very shortly, but that's where you can turn in your Filianore spear ornaments, which are the covenant item. Are you supposed to jump to get over there? I can't remember. Yes, you are. Again, how many times do I say I can't remember to do this? Or are you supposed to jump to get back? That's what I remember. Oh, there's just a ledge down here. I thought this was a death pit. Okay, no need to jump at all. Alright, with just him in the way, he's very easy to run past beyond this point, so feel free to do so. Anything off to the right? No, just the Cloud Sea from Xenoblade Chronicles. You know, that place. Haven't actually played or seen much of Xenoblade Chronicles, either game. Hello, that was a summon sign.
Visitor, return from whence thou camest. The abyss runneth deep, by the king's decree. None may disturb our mistress's slumber.
Well, sometimes you have to wake up for work in the morning, okay? You can't just sleep forever. To the right, summon sign. Unbreakable patches. I'll decline, but thanks for the offer. Honestly, you may have redeemed yourself a bit, and clearly he appears here regardless if you've killed him in Firelink Shrine or not. I was wondering if Lap would still show up if I've killed Patches in Firelink Shrine, which is why I only took until then last time to do it, but yeah. Alright, let's see what we got in here. Okay then, let's fight. I like that tiny chair in front of the Judicator Giant, by the way. Is that where he sits? Alright, so we have this person in Painting Guardian set that is currently attacking us. They will throw knives if we don't attack them right now, so let's whittle them down right now. Boom. And now, the real boss arrives. Halflight, Spear of the Church, contains the secrets about Half-Life 3 that we've been wanting to know for so long. I actually can't believe I managed to get that extra summon down just like that. This guy is an interesting fight, and we'll go more into that afterwards. But if you're playing offline, this will always be the encounter you face, is Halflight. Oh my god. Halflight is annoying as fuck. Yeah, I'm not too big a fan of this fight. Let me go up and hit him with the axe. Ow, okay. I think this sword's good against him. He's got all kinds of projectiles, and of course, the healing animation is just long enough. Wow. I hate this guy. Okay. I hate him so much. Alright, do you pause in between there? You kinda do, for like 2 seconds. And then you hit for 1,000,000 damage. That's what you do. How much damage was I doing with that? I was doing 108 with the axe. And 164 with this. I'm pretty sure he's weak to frost as well. Hold on. Okay, so halfway through his health bar, the Judicator Giant summons yet another Painting Guardian dude to help him. Oh god, and they're both gonna pelt you with projectiles. Can kinda use the pillars to block them, I guess. I want to get you down as fast as I can, if I can. I think they were pretty dark. The battle axe is good against them. Hold on, I am confused. The Judicator Giant himself will disappear shortly after the fight begins, so no need to worry about him. But he's still able to summon in this guy from beyond the grave. I don't know how. Maybe because he's not dead, and he's not beyond the grave. I'm out of Estus, so I'm a little fucked, and, of course, you have a healing miracle. Can't believe I dodged that arrow. How did I dodge that arrow? But yeah, if you go to attack Halflight like this guy's gonna throw these Church Guardian shivs at you, and they are just as annoying as the rest of the fight is. I'm dead. That didn't deal much damage, but Halflight certainly made up for that. Also, Halflight was healed by that miracle. This is gonna be annoying. Hope you enjoy. You have to sit through this dialogue every single attempt. Believe this aura around this guy hurts you, so you're gonna have to wait until he's fully spawned in. Okay, yeah, didn't get hit by that. Immunity frames, makes sense. Oh wow, you are much more aggressive this time. Awesome. Oh, I dodged into it. What? How'd I dodge into it? All right, that's fine. Ow, fuck. Gonna do that bullshit. I hate that shit. Stop doing that shit. Try not doing that shit for once in your life. It's probably saying the same thing about me spamming this. Oh no, spears from the ground, spears from the ground. Oh my. That didn't do much damage, surprisingly. Alright. I think when he has the bow, never mind, can't get hit. But I think when he has the bow, he's pretty open. So, let's remember that. And do it. I think he can follow up with using that attack, so with another set of attacks from that, so watch out. Alright, let's try killing you with this. Out. Bad, 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 bad. Oh god, no. You healed. Why does that have to heal Halflight as well? Luckily, this is the only extra summon added, so once you kill this one, you don't have to worry about any more. Just Halflight himself. Okay. To ensure this fight goes as painlessly as possible, I'm embering right now. Just gonna kind of play aggressive. Watch out for when he can parry. That's good to know. Alright, he takes off that much. That stabs right through the heart. With this armor, that's gotta fucking hurt. Alright. Get behind this. Pillar stops that and stops those, I think, as well. I think it does. I can't tell if it does. Okay. I don't think anything is different with Halflight himself once you get halfway down. It's just the extra summon that's added temporarily. And then once you kill him, if you kill him, he's gone for good. Ow. So the thing about this fight, if you're playing online, it's not always an NPC. It's not always Halflight. There is a chance that other players can be summoned as the boss. And they become the spear of the church that defends the church from people trying to disturb Filianore's sleep. From the terrible alarm clocks. so you'll never be woken up by an alarm clock ever again. I screwed that sentence up, very sorry. Halflight's almost dead. Alright. Die. Damn you. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Please don't start an attack in my face. Let me dodge, please. Behind a pillar. I'm just gonna play this safe. Because, I mean, you can see his health bar. He doesn't have a lot of health, but still, he's annoying. Alright, do it. Come on. Come on. Okay, I'm not hitting that. I'm not hitting that. Switch to two-hand or something? No. You fucker. How long can you stall this last hit? Just take it. Just take it to the face. Take it like the man that you are. Thanks, buddy. You get a Titanite slab as well as a Filianore spear ornament for beating him. You will also get a Filianore spear ornament if you are able to defeat the host as a summoned spear of the church. So basically, here's the rundown. The covenant we got last time, the Spears of the Church Covenant. This is awarded for defeating Midir. With this covenant on, you will be automatically and randomly selected to be summoned as the Spear of the Church boss fight in someone else's game. It's a pretty freaking cool thing. Although it wasn't original to Dark Souls 3, as Dark Demon Souls, the predecessor to the Dark Souls trilogy, also had a PvP boss, they're known as, where another player plays as the boss itself. Dark Souls 2 had something similar, but you were being summoned in as a boss minion instead. It was still pretty cool, though. I don't know how active the Spears of the Church PvP boss is today, so you might just see a Halflight nowadays, but, I mean, I got invaded 15 minutes into the multiplayer video back in part 11, so I'd say there's probably a number of people still playing. He can do a third attack after that, wow. It's worth noting that if you play online, it's totally random what you get, whether you get Halflight or what type of player and how much skill level the player has that you get. There's also an item I missed right here. A ritual spear fragment. Online play item. A fragment of the matching ritual spears once held by the Knights of Princess Filianore. They are the namesake of the Spears of the Church. When Spears of the Church face unduly treacherous foes, this allows them to draw upon former majesty and summon a row of upward-thrusting ritual spears. This is what he was using against us. This and the summons were using these. I believe you do get your own NPC summons to help you, and obviously they don't attack you because you're the boss. So, for succeeding in defeating a host, or for defeating a Spear of the Church boss, you get a Filianore spear ornament to turn in here, to the altar right outside. For turning in 10 Filianore spear ornaments, you get Young Grass Dew. And for turning in 20 more after that, you get a Divine Spear Fragment, which may very well be the item that we just picked up. I guess you have two of them now. Okay, this one's Ritual Spear Fragment, so the Divine Spear Fragment is probably better. I believe the Young Grass Dew is an item that gives you extra buffs when you get summoned to be the Spear of the Church. I think your FP goes up, your health might go up a bit, something like that. There might also be some base buffs applied. I'll see if I can find those in editing. Let's use the 100,000 souls we got to get one upgrade, because they cost 50,000 now. Let's do Faith. We'll be getting Faith to 15 before you know it. I guess Strength and Dexterity will stay at 21. Maybe I could bump Vitality to 18 to be a more even number. We'll see. Boom, that's all of Carla's sorceries.
There is one thing.
And she doesn't say anything else. The Ringed City gives you so many souls. It is the farming spot. Definitely go into the Ringed City if you need to farm. With Halflight's defeat, I believe there is something at the Purging Monument we can do. No Midir this time. That's because he's dead. Honestly, beating Midir like that literally brightened my entire day yesterday. I wasn't having a particularly bad day, but yeah, beating Midir in one session just like made my whole day better. It was freaking awesome. I managed to do that. Purging Monument. We can reinstate the King's Decree. What does this mean? Probably costs souls or something. Let me check. Okay, apparently this costs 500 times your soul level souls to do. And this will revive the Spear of the Church. This will basically allow you to possibly fight another player if you want. Or, if you really want to, you can refight Halflight, because Halflight is the best boss to refight, and no other bosses come anywhere near close to being refightable. Yeah, it's strange. This is basically the only boss in the game that you can fight again if you want. Now, personally, I don't want to, because I kind of don't like the fight that much. But if you're playing online and you want to go against other players, there's the option. Oh, poor lonely little chair. Look at how small that table is. Just with a little candle on it. Who's this chair for? Is it a throne for the spear of the church to sit in while they stand up? But clearly the spear of the church wasn't even here. The Judicator Giant had to go wake him up and bring him over here. Who's this chair for? Anyway, yeah. Overall, Halflight Spear of the Church, if fought without being online, it's an alright fight. I'm not sure how I feel about it being required. It feels like, since it's an PvP fight, that it's kind of a gimmick boss and it should have been optional, but it's alright. It's not too hard, at least. It's just kind of annoying. I view it on the same level as Champion's Gravetender Great Wolf, where it's just kind of annoying, and that's about it. Also, if fought online, you have to put up with latency, so I hope you're okay with that. Alright, let's switch armor, because I don't think this is going to fit for what we have coming up next. Here we go. This is the Shadow set, which I chose because this is kind of where the pygmies with the Dark Soul are, so the Shadow set works very well. For a hat, Witch's hat kind of works, but I don't know if I want it for what's coming up next. I think I'll just go with basic old Pyromancer crown that I've been reusing for the entire series. Just don't mind me. I have no variety. Hey man, when I like a hat, I like a hat. The bonfire after the Spears of the Church boss is behind the room instead of inside the room, so it's a little bit different in that way. We got the Ringed Knights here. I actually like them a little bit more now. There's still some attacks of theirs I don't like, but that's about it, really. Okay, we're here at the church. Let's head up to the top and become the alarm clock for the princess. Princess Filianore. Just checking for items.
Filianore. Help me, please. The Red Hood is come to eat us, to eat our dark souls. Still here. Hand it over, that thing, your dark soul. For my lady's painting.
Slave Knight Gael, after sending us into Irithyll, made a journey to the Ringed City in search of the Dark Soul for the painter's painting. After being unable to find it, he resorted to consuming the pygmies and eating their Dark Souls. Because of this, the Dark Soul within him grew so strong that it overtook him and he became feral, and ended up outliving almost every other life form as the world came to a close. Throughout the Ringed City DLC, he has left a trail for us, because he predicted that this might happen, and in case it does, we will follow his trail that he left for us, make the journey to the Ringed City, and travel all the way through time to the end of the worlds, so that we can fight him, kill him, and take the Dark Soul back to the Painter. Let's do it! Watch out for that attack. That's an impale and grab attack. And also, watch out for his other attacks. There's not much new to say here. Get used to their timings, dodge when you see them coming, etc., etc. He has some pretty nicey combos. I think there's one where he will grapple. That is very much worth watching out for. Oh god, that one's tricky. Yes, this one. Okay, I think it's 2 hits and then whip, and then a leap and a slam. As you can see, he has a lot of health. He is susceptible to frost, which is why I'm using Irithyll's Straight Sword. Fully upgraded, even with fully upgraded Irithyll's Straight Sword, I'm still barely making a dent in his health. That was a mistake. I should have waited for him to do something. This is a hard fight, but it is not the hardest, in my opinion. Alright. Okay, that was a delay. I should be waiting a lot more. I should be patient. I'll get it down again. It's been a long time since I fought him. I think 12 Estus will help a lot here. I think I did do this fight with 14 Estus on my first playthrough, so I'm gonna try doing it with less here, see if I can do it. Oh no. For this, I just like to run away from him. Okay. It lasted much longer in my first attempt than I did on my first playthrough. Oh god. Almost got his health a third of the way down. Oh man, delayed. Delayed stomp. Okay. Whoop. Any more after that? No, okay, that's it.
Is this the blood
Second phase, he now has new abilities. He can swing his cape along with his sword. This creates a much tighter dodge window that you need to watch out for. He can also cast the Way of White Corona spell, which after being sent out, after being dodged, it will return to him shortly, so get to the other side of him when he does that. Finally, he has a rapid-fire crossbow that he will pull out on occasion. Dodging it is not advised. It's best to run away from it during that. He's got plenty of combos, plenty of other stuff he can do during this phase. Is a little bit slower than the first, and he's also like standing up on 2 legs, so it's easier to read. Okay, here's Way of White Corona. We want to get to the other side of him. Want to watch out for this. Oh god, that's a huge twirl attack. We just want to get away from him when he does that. Just dodge away and you should be good. Dodging his combos requires precise timing, so be sure to... Oh god, okay, he's also going to raise that out of the sword here, which... Oh, and then plant it back in. I don't remember that. Okay, after that heal. Twice. There's no way I'm going to survive this. I did get him halfway down. Okay, there we go. Whoa, 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 no. Still got hit by the cape. The cape doesn't deal as much damage as the sword, thankfully. Uh-oh, uh-oh. The last third of his health is phase 3. He'll cast that and then do that big leap attack at you, and now, oh god, he's also going to summon a bunch of lightning to rain down over there. This phase, I do not remember much about, because I rarely fought it. Okay, all I know is his attacks are even crazier now. Alright, he's got extra things he can do for each one. Oh no. Yeah, this attack goes on for a little bit longer and summons more of those. Oh wow, first death, okay. Let's do this. I am super excited. And as if this boss couldn't get any better, no run back. Just walk through the fog wall to your left, and you're back in it. I don't remember if I had any souls on me. I won't care though, because this arena is huge. Don't bother trying to get your souls back. There's no use. Okay. Should have recognized it. Heal. Oh, wow. He stopped. He put a stop to that heal right away. Man, I remember that combo being harder to dodge. Did I just not run away from him enough? What was I doing, man? Alright. It's worth noting that throughout the second and third phases, lightning will periodically strike in random spots. This is not really an attack of his, although he can use it as an attack in the third phase, where he summons a bunch of lightning in one spot. You saw it in our first attempt. Okay. Just being careful. Wow, I didn't know you could do that. In this playthrough. Uh-oh, that's a death. Yeah, I got hit by both the sword and the cape. I don't know why I didn't run away from that crossbow like I should have. Okay, watch out for that. Watch out for him pulling the sword back out of the ground. That can also deal damage. Drink now. Ah man, cape still hit me. I should time that dodge better, because like he's not dangerous at first. It takes him a while to actually lay out the attack. Whoa, I stunned him out of the crossbow. Okay, we should be entering phase 3 pretty soon. Alright, I think you can get a couple free hits on him, but I like to play it safe, so... Okay. Watch out for this. He does a little bit more during it, and then has a finisher right there. Combo finisher. Uh-oh. Okay, get away from the lightning field. I don't want anything to do with that. He can hop twice, swinging like that. Ow. Okay, get a hit. Get another one. And then dodge this. Heal. Okay, the cape still hit me, but I still got the heal, so... Alright. Oh boy. I do wish to show off all of his attacks. Hopefully, this isn't the run where I win. Can't believe I'm saying that. Oh my god. Okay, jumped in the air, used the crossbow, landed with the sword 2 times. Oh, wow. I need to heal. Oh, God. Oh, God. Wow. That was an instant kill. I got him pretty far down, though. All right. We've seen most of his attacks now. It's time to beat him. Let's do this. Switching out this for Chloranthy Ring while he's on his way over. Because I want extra stamina regen while I'm dodging his crazy attacks. Let's go. Okay, I thought he was doing it again. Okay, got hit by some of those. Not all of them, though. Oh, bad. Oh my god, bad. I just went for a heal in his face. Yeah, like that was gonna work. Oh, I went for an attack, thinking he was done. He wasn't. That was really bad of me. Wow. Look at me. Look at me sucking it up. Oh, no. No, oh god, the third hit. Oh god. Heal. Where are you going? Why are you facing that way? I'm not over there at all. Oh dear. Cape, man. Whoa, okay. That's a new attack you can do when you're far away. Nice. There's probably some pattern to how I'm staggering him, but I'm too dumb to figure it out at the moment. Damn it! I shouldn't have done that. Oh crap, I'm bad. I think I'm gonna Ember up when I get to phase 3, if I get to phase 3. When shit gets real. As if it wasn't real enough already. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't even tell what he's doing in the middle there. Either way, if you dodge the first hit, you're safe, so... Oh god, I'm near the lightning. I don't want to be near the lightning. Oh, the Cape Man. That's your superhero name, the Cape Man! That's pretty generic superhero name. Oh my god. Okay, it's this attack. He's gonna do that twice. Cool. Oh, it's this attack again. Oh god. Damn. I'm still not used to that attack timing. Okay, watch out for the finisher. Heal. Watch out for the lightning on the floor. You can also do that. Oh, okay, he's going for the big swing again. Ow, my. Man, he can follow that up. Okay, my last heal. Is he going for... Yeah, he's doing that again. Okay, you gonna do a big leap again? Sure are. I don't think I'm gonna live this. He still has quite a bit of health left. Boom! Oh, the lightning! Okay. I'm not close enough to hit that. Oh, the lightning. Get out of there. Hitting him twice is really risky. I think I should only be going for one. Stay away, stay away! Ooh, barely! Holy shit. Damn it. I'm dead. Yeah, oh man. Oh man. Close. I got this. goes another attack. It's a little way that he, like, holds the weapon back there. That's the indication that he's about to swing. Okay, that's pretty good. Crap, shouldn't have gone for that. I need to know when not to be greedy. I love dodging the arrows, it's so much fun. It is just you running in a direction, but still, it's so much fun to just run exactly the right angle that they barely miss you. Okay, no second swing. He's wielding a giant broken sword. Kind of like a broken straight sword that an early game Hollow would wield. Ow! Fuck. But because it's so big, it does a lot. In the second phase, the Dark Soul, all within him, basically comes out in full force. We are fighting the Dark Soul itself. Within humans. Okay, phase 3. Whoa. Oh, crap. Not taking a chance. Oh my god, oh, that's right, he can follow that up with 2 more swings, wow. Thought it was just 1. Crap. And then the finisher, heal. I'm watching out for the lightning before I go into attack. Good thing that doesn't do an AoE, man. You'd think it would, from what it looks like, but it doesn't. No! Ah, he was gonna raise it out the ground, crap. Oh no. I do not know what goes on here. All I know is that I take a point of damage and then I'm out of it or something. I don't know. Crap, crap. And the third hit. Okay. I got the heal. There you have it. That is every boss in the DLC of Dark Souls 3. I think when he's on his final hit, when he has that very low health, he'll stop and, like, do this little crying animation. I don't know if that's him building up into another big release of all the Dark Souls. I'm assuming that's what those are. Into the jump and slash across the whole arena. Or if that's a scripted animation, but I didn't want to take chances, because that was a super good run. I ended with 3 Estus. If I was using 10, I would have ended it with 1. Awesome. No matter where you kill him in the arena, the bonfire is always all the way over here. Pretty out of the way. Now, let's read about our items. Soul of Slave Knight Gael. The red-hooded wandering Slave Knight Gael sought the blood of the Dark Soul as pigment for the Painted World. But Gael knew he was no champion, that the Dark Soul would likely ruin him, and that he had little hope of a safe return. I haven't really been pointing it out, but throughout the Dreg Heap and throughout parts in the Ringed City, such as the Shared Grave, you can see bits of Gael's hood that he left behind in order to lead us down the path into the church and to Filianore, who apparently sent us forward through time, where Gael is one of the last things alive in this world, including us. I love that boss, and I know I am far from alone in thinking so. One of my favorite video game bosses of all time, for sure. It's a tough one, definitely, and learning the attacks definitely took me a long time, but just the atmosphere of the whole battle. And also, there is not a single attack in that boss that I consider to be unfair. Every single attack is dodgeable. There's tells. There's always some kind of tell to know what he's going to do next. There's no undodgeable bullshit whatsoever. And also, his attacks look really friggin' cool. And we're in the middle of a giant wasteland that's supposed to be the end of the world if the Age of Fire continues for too long. Plus all the lightning going off in the background with the red color coming from him. Before I continue this, I would like to point out this guy with the two big great swords. It's a ringed knight, just like the one you fought outside the church. Could even be the one you fight outside the church, I don't know. I'll kill him real quick. There's not gonna be much new here. Crap, I'm dead. Ah, I died. It's fine, we can get over here, get our souls easily. Since the Ringed City is the last DLC for Dark Souls 3, and the last DLC for Dark Souls, period, that means that Slave Knight Gael is the final boss of the Dark Souls games. Now, he's not our final boss for this playthrough, but he is the last boss added to the series. Even though it's possible someone might fight Midir last, since Midir's kind of hidden. It reminds me a lot of the final bosses of Splatoon, especially the first game, where, like, there's all these effects going on in the background, the music's really, like, getting action-packed, it feels amazing, and, like, the whole energy of the fight is just amazing. This guy's kind of annoying. It does well to, like, end the game off with a bang, or in this case, end the DLC off with a bang. And what a bang it is! For defeating the true final boss of the Ringed City, you get Titanite Slab, and 2 chunks while you're at it. That's still not all, though. There's one more thing. But while we're on the way to that, let's take a look at Blood of the Dark Soul. Blood of the Dark Soul that seeped from the hole within Slave Knight Gael, used as pigment by his lady in Ariandel to depict a painted world. When Gael came upon the Pygmy Lords, he discovered that their blood had long ago dried, and so consumed the Dark Soul. That's why he was unsuccessful and resorted to eating them. Their blood dried. And apparently that matters. This ruined building, over here, has seemingly nothing. Until you turn around.
I've searched for thee, dark, stricken creature. I am Shira, daughter of the Duke, descendant of gods, and trusted friend to Midir. At once, I am the honor of the gods, the glory of fire, and the fear of the dark. Thou shalt not go unpunished for thy treachery, thy profanity, and thy shameless yearning.
Wow, that's a lot to carry on your shoulders. You're the freaking fear of the dark, the fire or something, and what else? She is mad at us. Somehow still alive in this area. I'm not sure how, but she's mad at us, likely because we woke up Princess Filianore. Yeah, sorry about that, but it had to be done. You see, there's this guy called Gael. He was coming to the Ringed City to search for the Dark Soul. I was getting it for him because he kind of didn't take getting the Dark Soul very well. All right, you know how it is. You've seen the Dark Souls before. I'm sure you have. I'm sure it's spoken to you in a dream or something. Oh, you've asked this. Oh, God. I might die to this. Okay, then. Jesus. Okay. To be honest, I might cut through this. Are you trying to parry me? I think so. I think she is. Oh, my God. Don't do a fucking Havel the Rock, please. You still have more? Are you serious? Oh my god. That's my last one. That better be your last one too. Alright. No! No, that's not your last one! Oh my god. Oh, that's your last one. Oh, fuck you. No. Dead. Dead. Fuck! Wow. Wow. You have to delay those anymore? Look at me, I'm not delaying attacks. Yes, and that makes you easy as shit. Okay, maybe running away is better. I should stop trying to roll. Okay, running away is the way, I think. Is it? Seems to be. But she heals. I can usually, if I have health, oh my god. If I still have health, I can usually go in to undo the damage, to redo the damage she just healed. God damn it! What am I supposed to heal? Guess when she's not aiming the bow at me. But like, once I've started the heal animation, I can't cancel out, so if she starts it in response to me healing, what the fuck can I do about that? You're out.
Never would I ever forgive thy lowly kind.
That is too bad. You were friendly to us, and you could have helped us against Midir if I did that option. She drops the Crucifix of the Mad King. There's also something else that unlocks, but I'm gonna cover that next video. A cross spear hung with a malformed corpse. Once a Mad King was born to the Pygmy royalty, and Shira, Knight of Filianore, put him to rest. But Shira's cross spear, unable to kill the Undying King, only pinned itself to him. Shira delivered them together to a dark room, where she stayed and held them close. Mad King's folly, slam malformed corpse on the ground to briefly awaken it. Interestingly, she didn't do that. That is it. That is all you can do here. I think you can come fight the ring tonight and Shira before Gael, and maybe I should have done that, but either way, they're done now. So, what say you that we go take the Blood of the Dark Soul to the Painter in Ariandel? If you only own the Ringed City, I don't believe you're able to do this. So, you need to have both DLCs to be able to do this. Look at that. The fire is spread up here now. Do you see the flame now? You better. Just look down at the floor. I like my sword sheath floating off the side of my hip.
Ashen One, thy gift of flame has taken root, and Uncle Gael will soon bring the pigment. Pigment, colored like the dark soul of man. I wonder if Uncle Gael has found it, the pigment colored like the dark soul of man.
He did find it. And he gave it to me.
My thanks, Ashen One. With this will I paint a world. Please tell me thy name. I would name this painting after thee.
I have no name. No.
My thanks. I will paint a world of that name. It will be a cold, dark, and very gentle place. And one day, it will make someone a goodly home.
You heard that right? Look out for Painted World of Omencito, coming in Dark Souls 4.
I wonder when Uncle Gael intends his return. I hope the new painting will be to him a gentle home.
There's no option to tell her.
My thanks, Ashen One. I will assuredly finish the painting of a cold, dark, and very gentle place one day.
Alright. I think that's all she says after that. And that ends the DLC content of Dark Souls 3. I will give my final thoughts on it after replaying it again once we head back to Firelink Shrine. Fire, you okay? You were causing weird audio things. What's wrong? Let's start with soul transposition. Let's use Gael's soul. Gael's soul. Oh, 20,000. Gives you either Gael's Greatsword of Slave Knight Gael, the only weapon that he kept with him from beginning to end. Originally an executioner's sword made for decapitation, this blade is heavily chipped and stained with the blood of countless battles. Skills Blade of Peril, a precarious technique unique to undead Gael. Leap in any direction, slamming the greatsword to the ground, then follow with normal attack for a large spinning slash or a strong attack to backstep and jump forward and overhead slam. Probably what he was doing in the first phase. I like how it's unique to undead Gael, but you can do it too if you want. The other, Repeating Crossbow. This crossbow, customized for repeat firing to face mobs alone, was wielded by Slave Knight Gael. Used in the battles of an endless journey, this crossbow is covered with twists and dinks, rusted with blood, and it made extremely brittle from overuse. Skills Repeat Fire. It's the machine gun thing he was doing. I'm gonna buy it because it's pretty special. I'm probably not gonna use it, but it's cool. Speaking of which, I believe there's a bow that I haven't looked at. This bow is a relic from an ancient land of sorceries that was swallowed by the Abyss, most known for its folktale, the heroic Abyss Walker. Alright. Let's level up some endurance. Or I could bump vitality. Yeah, let's bump vitality. Get it to 18. Let's get 58. That sounds fun. Oh, I could do another one. Alright then, endurance. I'm now level 98, 2 levels away from 100. We didn't reach 100 from the DLCs, but we will reach 100. Anything else to buy? I don't think so. I think I've bought everything that I can from all the NPCs currently. Oh, Cornix is still there. For a second, I thought he was gone. Oh man, that would be terrible. Here, reinforce my Pyromancy Flame. Let's get the Pyromancy Flame fully upgraded. Why not? Oh yeah, I have 45 Titanite chunks. Okay, we need to upgrade some stuff. Sorcerer Staff, get up there. Here, let's do +9. Oh, I might not slab them just yet. Should I? I have like a million slabs and nothing better to use them on. Let's do it. There, we are now fully upgraded and ready for the final area. So, my thoughts on the DLC as a whole, both Ashes of Ariandel and the Ringed City. I think the bosses, for the most part, are excellent. I like Frida, Demon Prince, for the most part. I did like Madir, enough, from what I thought of him, and I love Gael, best boss in the game, in my opinion, or more accurately, my favorite boss in the game. Frida is a bit, I think, too much to redo to learn her third phase, but apart from that, I'm okay with it. I think Gael was a much better fight for endurance since he had a much bigger health bar, so you did have to spend a little longer on him than the average boss, but still, he is just so much fun. I can't complain. As for the areas, Ariandel, awesome. I love how big it is. I love all these little areas with their own kind of characteristics. I don't like the Millwood Knights. Even after fighting the Ringed Knights, I think the Millwood Knights might be my least favorite enemy in the whole game. Their attacks are just ridiculous and stupid, and they deal way too much damage. Everything else, though, the Corvian Settlement's pretty cool. The birds that constantly claw at you like 80 times a second, I'm a little meh on them, but they're not common, and for the most part, they're optional, so I don't mind. Other than that, Ariandel's great. Dragheap, probably the most fun area. Love the Herald Legions, love the Mercmen, fighting them. The Lothric Knights, a bit overpowered for me, but aside from that, love them. The Ringed City. Surprisingly, I liked it in this playthrough. I think on my first playthrough, I was too busy trying to hurry through it to get to the end, but this time I found the Ringed Knights much more reasonable, and I can't really tell why. Maybe it's just because of my experience with the game that I just saw their attacks coming better. I don't know what it is. Then there's Champion Gravetender and Halflight. I mean, Champion Gravetender is optional, so I don't care. I'm never gonna fight him again. It's pretty fun, especially when you actually get Gravetender killed, but that moment when both him and the wolf are alive, it's like nearly impossible to avoid damage because the wolf's all going all crazy. When you kill the Gravetender and it's just the wolf, then it's back to being fun. But the Gravetender's the worst part of the fight by far. The wolf I like a lot. Halflight, it's alright. I don't hate it, but it's annoying. That's all I have to say. So, yeah, overall, I'm surprised to say that I really enjoyed the DLC in this playthrough, overall. There are some parts like Ariandel the Millwood Knights. That was my least favorite part of the DLC as a whole. Because even then, I killed Gravetender in like 3 tries, so I have no big problems with him. But yeah, that was a really enjoyable experience. But with that saga is now done. And we have finally reached the summit of our optional content mountain. Next time on Dark Souls 3, I clear up a few little knickknacks that are sitting around, but then we start Lothric Castle at long last. Thank you all for watching. If you didn't, as always, I will see you all in the future.